This is the best 2D Zelda game that isn't a Zelda game, and never was one. Hello, Mississippi Dukes! Welcome back to the finale of Let's Play Golden Axe Warrior. And in this episode, we're actually going to complete the game! No, seriously, this is the final labyrinth, and we are going to defeat the final boss in this very video. But this dungeon is very long and time-consuming, so fortunately, I have a plan to get through this all. And you want to know what that is? A speed montage! As you may have guessed, now sit back and listen to some epic music as we traverse the final dungeon once and for all. The song y'all just heard was called Training in the Fire by Musicom. You can find out more information about the song in the description below, and it is awesome. But in all seriousness, what you want to do here is destroy one of the blocks so you can take a teleporter. Most of this dungeon is painfully repetitive, as all it is most of the time is you just kill all the enemies on the screen, which the enemies that come at you, they aren't necessarily really difficult or annoying, but they take forever to kill, so this gets repetitive really quickly. I mean, I don't really remember whether this is any worse than the original Zelda game, but I mean, I don't remember the final dungeon in the first Zelda game being particularly good. For a good reason, it was horrible. I mean, like, this is just... the navigation of this place is just based entirely on trial and error. Also, I think now that I hit that switch, I've opened the path forward to the next room. Time for another montage. And he's down for the count. Now we're back and we have the dungeon item, the Golden Axe, which is the best weapon in the game, by far. And that means we have all items. We have pretty much completed this game 100%. We have all the heart containers, all the magic containers. We have everything. We're ready to face the final boss. Are you pumped for it? I know I am. The Golden Axe is a super powerful weapon. I mean, you see how it handled them skeleton thingies? It took out the red ones in one hit. 2 hits, actually, but still. This is going to make getting through the dungeon a lot less tedious. Though I can't guarantee by how much. Nevertheless, the final boss is actually quite a ways away. I think we'll still have to fight another boss, and when we do, I'll just speed it up like before, because there's not much to comment over. I mean, it's the same boss we already fought, so, like, what else can I say? I warned y'all this was a long dungeon, but did any of y'all listen to me? No. And I died. Well, that sucks, but before we head back to the dungeon, I may as well show off what Magic Feather does. It takes you to the place you last saved when you're on the overworld. It can be useful, but I don't really use it that much. Anyway, on with the dungeon. This dungeon is quite a pain in the neck. I mean, this dungeon is really long, the longest in the game, and that's if you know what you're doing, like I do, fortunately. You have to, like, navigate this convoluted maze of teleporters that take you who knows where. You're lucky I know what I'm doing here, otherwise this would get really monotonous. Speaking of monotonous, may as well hit another montage, since it's already long and boring enough as is. And we're back. Now who's not pumped to fight Death Adder? Jimmy, I see you. I know what you're thinking. And no, he's not an exact replica of the previous boss. Jimmy, Actually, I have no idea what you're thinking, Jimmy, because I don't know you, and I don't think I know anyone in my audience who is named Jimmy. Unless you are named Jimmy, in which case, I know you very well. Or something like that. Yeah, back to more of this repetitive crap where we have to get through this entire dungeon while we have to kill a bunch of enemies that seem insistent on being as obnoxious as possible. Like these eyeball things, like they keep reappearing and disappearing, and you have no way of knowing where they show up. They're like Wizrobes, except more annoying. Yes, I realize the mages in this game aren't called Wizrobes, but I mean, they may as well be. This game isn't exactly the most original thing I've ever played, but it is still a good game. I still recommend it, and I think its music is really good, and while it will never be as iconic as the first Zelda game, it is still some good music that definitely does capture the feel of what is happening. With that said, it also does some things better than The Legend of Zelda. And I think the dungeons are really well designed. For the most part, this dungeon sucks, for instance. But most of the dungeons are pretty good. I mean, maybe not masterpieces, but still entertaining to get through. And the gameplay is surprisingly in-depth, and there are a lot of really interesting design decisions, and fighting the enemies is actually fairly interesting, because, like, you never really know what you're going up against. And there are just so many enemies, and such a variety of enemies, that you don't know what you're fighting. And it's really well done in that regard. And the enemy variety is much better than the first Zelda game. And with that said, there are some things that it does worse than The Legend of Zelda. And I'm not gonna pretend that this game is a masterpiece, but, you know, it's pretty good. There are some things that are very enjoyable about it, as I've said before, and hunting for secrets is kept interesting. I also legitimately like the translation. Each of the NPCs gives you useful information that isn't poorly translated garbage. The Legend of Zelda. And we are also one screen away from the boss. So, are you getting emotional? Because this is it. We are basically at the end of the game. And now we have to fight Death Adder. And he is tough. There is actually an exploit that you can do by just standing in the frame of the door and attacking him that way. But I'm not gonna cheese my way through this fight. I'm actually going to give it my all. And don't bother with the thunder magic, because it's useless against him. And he's almost dead. Can we make it? Can we defeat Death Adder? Find out next time! No, I'm not H.C. Bailey, and he's down for the count! That's it! We have completed Golden Axe Warrior 100%. That's it, folks. It's over. Now sit back and enjoy the ending.
The collected peoples of Firewood, Nindoria, and Ulterulian enthusiastically celebrate your return from the palace under the sea, the lair of the evil giant Death Adder. Your success means a new age of peace and prosperity for Princess Tyrus and her people and for all the countries of the world. A great feast is announced in your honor, and amid the festivities, the assembled royalty unite in a pact to join their lands under the princess to ensure future peace. The Golden Axe, the instrument of the world's liberation, returned once more to its resting place beyond the grasp of mortals. The legends say that the axe will return only when evil rises once more to challenge peace and happiness. The legend of your battle with Death Adder and his vile minions will be told beside the evening fire for ages to come. The people feel that if the evil ever returns, so shall the Golden Axe Warrior.
That's it. We are done, folks. Now we can move on to the next Let's Play. And, as I've said, it's a great game. This game is not very original, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it, and I hope y'all have enjoyed it as well. This is the end of the game. As for what game I'm going to Let's Play next, I haven't quite decided yet, but I'm leaning towards Final Fantasy VI Blind. That is really all we have, folks. It's the end. At last. We're done. I hope y'all will join me for my next Let's Play. This is the Mississippi King signing out. And in the next video, we'll be playing a different game. Golden Axe Warrior is complete. See y'all next Let's Play.